Good morning, boys and girls. All right, I got Zuri back. Yeah, let me get there. We go. We got Zuri back here. Zuri has her sweater on. She was just outside. She's got her scarf right here and her mittens, and they are keeping her paws warm, as you can see. Anyway, boys and girls, we are on to chapter 16 in Because of Winn-Dixie. So let's make it happen. All right, chapter 16. All right, last we left off, she was about to tell a story about the Civil War. And it's actually kind of cool because we're going to be learning a little bit about the Civil War later on this year, too. So keep this stuff in the back of your head. It might reach us again. All right, here we go. Chapter 16, Because of Winn-Dixie. And this guy right here needed to hear it so much right after our walk, and she was all cold. She would just want to hear it right away, right, Sorry? All right? Yeah, you can tell. All right, chapter 16. Here we go. All right. Litmus W. Block was just a boy when the firing on Fort Sumter occurred, Miss Franny Block said as she started in on her story. Fort Sumter? I said. It was firing on Fort Sumter that started the war, said. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the firing on Fort Sumter that started the war, said Amanda. Okay, I said. I shrugged. Well, Litmus was 14 years old. He was strong and big, but he was still just a boy. His daddy, Otley W. Block, was already enlisted, and Litmus told his mama that he could not stand by and let the South get beat, and so he went to fight. 2. Miss Franny looked around the library and then she whispered, Men and boys always want to fight. They always looking for a reason to go to war. It's the saddest thing. They have this abiding notion that war is fun, and no history lesson will convince them differently. Anyway, Litmus went and enlisted. He lied about his age. Yes, ma'am, like I said, he was a big boy and the army took him. And Litmus went off to war, just like that. Left behind his mother and 3 sisters. He went off to be a hero. But he soon found out the truth. Miss Franny closed her eyes and shook her head. What truth? I asked her. Why, that war's hell, Miss Franny said with her eyes still closed. Pure hell. Hell is a cuss word, said Amanda. I stole a look at her. Her face was pinched up even more than usual. War, said Miss Franny, with her eyes still closed, should be a cuss word, too. She shook her head and opened her eyes. She pointed at me and then pointed at Amanda. Neither of you can even imagine. No, ma'am, Amanda and me said at exactly the same time. We looked real quick at each other and then back at Miss Franny. You cannot imagine. Litmus was hungry all the time, and he was covered with all the manner of vermin, fleas, and lice. And in the winter, he was so cold he thought for sure he would freeze to death. And in the summer, why, there's nothing worse than war in the summertime. It stinks so. And the only thing that made Litmus forget that he was hungry and itchy and hot or cold was that he was getting shot at. And he got shot at quite a bit, and he was nothing more than just a child. Did he get killed? I asked Miss Franny. Now, good grief, said Amanda. She rolled her eyes. Now, Opal, Miss Franny said, I wouldn't be standing in this room telling this story if he killed. If he was killed, I wouldn't even exist. No, ma'am, he had to live. But he was a changed man. Yes, ma'am, a changed man. He walked back home when the war was over. He walked from Virginia all the way back to Georgia. He didn't have a horse. Nobody had a horse except them Yankees. He walked. And when he got home, there was no home there. Where was it? I asked her. I didn't care if Amanda thought I was stupid. I wanted to know. Wow, Miss Francis shouted so loud when Dixie and Amanda Wilkinson and me all jumped. The Yankees burned it, yes, ma'am. Burned it to that ground. What about the sis? What about the sisters? Amanda asked. She moved around the desk and came and sat on the floor. She looked up at Miss Franny. What happened to them? Dead. Dead of typhoid fever, for sure. Oh, no, Amanda said in a real soft voice. Oh, no. And his mama? I whispered. Dead too. And his father? Amanda asked. What happened to him? He died on the battlefield. Litmus was an orphan, I asked. Litmus was an orphan, I asked. Yes, ma'am, said Miss Franny Block. Litmus was an orphan. This is a sad story, I told Miss Franny. It sure is, said Amanda. I was amazed that she was agreeing with me about something. I'm not done yet, Miss Franny said. When Dixie started to snore, I nudged him with my foot to try to make him quiet. I wanted to hear the rest of the story. It was important to me to hear how Litmus survived after losing everything he loved. All right, that is chapter 16. Okay, and then chapter 17 is next. All right, boys and girls. So hopefully you have turned in your answers to your questions of chapters number 11 through chapter 15. All right, they're out there and due. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. All right, say goodbye, Zuri. Adios. All right, boys and girls, have a wonderful day.